The security cameras captured everything, the masked men, the screams, the chaos. But what they didn't capture was the moment that would change two lives forever and remind the world what true courage really looks like. Marcus Chen didn't build a billion-dollar empire by being careless. As the founder and CEO of Tech Vista Industries, he'd made his fortune by reading people, spotting potential where others saw nothing, and taking calculated risks that others feared. But nothing in his 60-hour work weeks, his Harvard MBA, or his corner office on the 43rd floor had prepared him for what he witnessed on an ordinary Tuesday night when he stayed late to review quarterly reports. The cleaning crew had already started their rounds. Marcus barely noticed them anymore. The quiet souls who emptied trash bins, wiped down conference tables, and polished the marble floors after everyone else went home. They were invisible, part of the building's machinery, background noise in the symphony of corporate success. That is, until the night everything changed. James Rodriguez had been cleaning offices for 23 years. At 56, his hands bore the testimony of decades spent scrubbing, lifting, and maintaining spaces that belonged to people who made more in a day than he earned in a year. He didn't complain. His daughter Maria was in nursing school, his son Carlos had just started community college, and his wife Elena worked the morning shift at the hospital. Together, they made it work. Together, they built something that couldn't be measured in stock options or profit margins. They built a family. That Tuesday night, James pushed his cleaning cart down the executive corridor, humming an old song his mother used to sing. The building was quiet, peaceful. He liked these hours when the fluorescent-lit battlefield of corporate ambition transformed into something almost serene. He was wiping down a window when he heard the elevator ding. 3 men stepped out, moving too quickly, their faces covered, their intentions clear. One held a gun. Marcus, reviewing spreadsheets in his office, heard the commotion. Through his partially open door, he watched the scene unfold with the helpless terror of someone witnessing a car crash in slow motion. The robbers had cornered James, demanding access to the executive offices, to the safes, to anything of value. "Open the doors, old man," the leader snarled, pressing the gun against James's temple. Now, what happened next would haunt Marcus for weeks and inspire him for the rest of his life. James didn't panic. His hands, steady despite the weapon inches from his head, slowly reached for his keys. "I'll help you," he said quietly, his voice carrying an unsettling calm that even the robbers seemed to notice. "But there's a night security guard who makes rounds every 20 minutes. He just passed. You don't have much time." The robber pushed him forward. "Then move faster." But James didn't move faster. He moved deliberately, carefully, leading them away from the executive wing, away from where Marcus was hiding, and toward the lobby where the panic buttons were installed. He fumbled with his keys, dropped them, apologized profusely. He was buying time, Marcus realized. This janitor, with a gun to his head, was protecting him. "There's nothing valuable in those offices anyway," James said conversationally, his voice never rising above a normal speaking tone. "They keep everything in the cloud now. Digital. But the reception desk, that's where they keep petty cash for visitors. Maybe $300-400. I can show you." It was a lie. Marcus knew there was no cash in reception. But James was walking them into the building's most monitored area, where cameras had the clearest views. Where police response would be fastest. "Sir," James said suddenly, turning to face the leader, and something in his eyes made the robber step back. "I have a daughter in school. 2 kids. Whatever you're going through, whatever brought you to this moment, I understand desperation. I've been there. But this won't solve anything. It'll just create more problems for everyone, including you." The robber's hand trembled. Behind his mask, his eyes betrayed his youth, maybe 25, maybe younger. "Shut up and walk," he said, but the conviction had drained from his voice. They reached the lobby. James's hand hovered near the panic button behind the reception desk. "The money's in the drawer," he said. "But before you take it, I want you to know something." He looked at each of the 3 men. "Whatever's waiting for you out there, poverty, debt, family pressure, there's always another way. I've cleaned offices for 23 years. I've seen people at their worst and their best. The ones who make it aren't always the smartest or the richest. They're the ones who keep choosing right over easy, every single time. What are you, a preacher? The second robber sneered. No, James said softly. I'm just a father who knows that the choices you make tonight will follow you forever. And I'm someone who believes you're better than this moment. That's when Marcus made his decision. He stepped out from his hiding place, hands raised, phone recording. He's right, Marcus said, his voice steady despite the guns now pointed at him. And I'm the CEO of this company. You want something valuable? Take my watch. It's worth $40,000. Take it and leave. The robbers spun around, confused. The leader's gun wavered between Marcus and James. Take it, Marcus repeated, removing his Patek Philippe. And leave these people in peace. For 10 eternal seconds, nobody moved. Then, sirens wailed in the distance. James had triggered the panic button when they'd turned toward Marcus. The robbers bolted, leaving the watch on the floor, fleeing empty-handed into the night. 2 weeks later, the security footage had gone viral. Not the robbery itself. Marcus made sure that stayed private, but what came after. The video he posted showed him standing in the company's main auditorium, addressing 5,000 employees, with James beside him. This is James Rodriguez, Marcus said, his voice cracking with emotion. For 23 years, he's been invisible to most of you. He cleans your offices, empties your trash, makes your workspace shine. 2 weeks ago, he saved my life. He stayed calm when I would have panicked. He showed compassion when I would have shown fear. He saw humanity in people who'd lost their way. Marcus turned to James, whose eyes glistened with unshed tears. James, you've spent 2 decades taking care of this building. Now it's time we took care of you. He pulled out an envelope. Inside this is the full 4-year paid tuition for both your children's education at any school they choose. There's also a check for $500,000, a new title as TechVista's Director of Facilities and Human Development with a salary to match, and a personal apology from me for never seeing you before. Really seeing you, until the moment you decided my life was worth risking yours. The auditorium erupted in applause, but Marcus wasn't finished. More than that, we're establishing the Rodriguez Foundation for Invisible Heroes, a fund that will provide education, healthcare, and housing assistance to service workers across this country. Because James taught me something that Harvard never could, that character isn't built in boardrooms. It's built in quiet moments when nobody's watching, in small acts of daily dignity, and in the courage to treat everyone, as if they matter. James stood, overwhelmed, and embraced Marcus. In that moment, captured by dozens of phones and shared millions of times, the world saw something it desperately needed to see. That kindness isn't weakness, that heroes don't always wear capes, and that sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one who never needed the power in the first place. 6 months later, 3 young men turned themselves into the police. They'd seen the video. They'd heard James's words that night over and over in their minds. They wanted to make things right. At their sentencing, the judge received a letter from James, asking for leniency, offering to mentor them. Because that's who James Rodriguez was. Not a victim, not even a hero, in his own mind. Just a man who understood that everyone deserves a second chance, and that the truest measure of character is what we do when everything is falling apart. Marcus never forgot that lesson. Neither did the world.